Paul Sykes worked one of the main rackets in Blackpool, the mock auctions. This involved the public auction of highly prized goods such as televisions, cameras etc. at bargain basement prices. The sting being the valuable goods on offer are not really sold but simply a front. A stooge bidder is sold the goods and the sheep simply follow. A good salesman, known as a barker, will build a mood of excitement at a mock auction like an evangelical preacher. The large excitable crowd creates an atmosphere of reckless bidding for ordinary goods and the money rolls in. Everyone had their role to play but in these types of auctions, but Sykes was employed as head of the complaints department. Anyone who was not happy with the cut price electricals they had been sold had to go and explain their case to him and try and get their money back. You can imagine how that went. The money involved in mock auctions was fabulous if you knew how to work it, though sometime later a pal of Sykes introduced him to fly pitching. "Scrape a few quid together and I'll pick you up on Sunday morning. We'll go through to Manchester and have a look round the warehouses," he said. Fortunately his old fella Walter had backed a few winners on the Saturday and couldn't lend him his winnings quick enough. A week later he paid him back and had enough to go back to the warehouse, not 50 yards from the gates of Strangeways, without having to borrow a penny. Of all the ways he tried to make money this was the best, and he took to it like a duck to water. When he'd got the hang of it and what he could and couldn't sell, he had a look round Manchester and found half a dozen warehouses that sold cheap jewelry, not lumps of crap. It was simple really if you had the gift of the gab, and Sykes had. He didn't need the brochure, selling was in his blood, he came from good stock when it came to selling. His old fella was very pleased he'd found a game he really enjoyed and volunteered to help when he'd explained how the job worked. It was simple really, all he needed were people, plenty of people, and somewhere to go if the coppers told him to move on. He found a copy of an old AA handbook in one of his mother's drawers and worked out a list of towns, market days, populations, all close together, which was vital. They had to be close so if the coppers moved him on he wasn't spending time in the car when he could be making money. And the money came. In no time he bought a big motor, a Vauxhall, a Cresta, with a genuine 19,000 on the clock, and in mint condition. Life had never been better, Hes said. I'd become addicted to fly pitching like a sailor to the sea.